The teams that get that, like the Warriors and the Patriots, that get Kansas City, that get the analytics and don't get stubborn, win more. Cubs won it on analytics. Red Sox won titles. They were early adapters. Now they're rebuilding, but for years. Yankees, after watching the Red Sox, they were not into analytics, then poured in 2018, made the biggest analytic department in Major League Baseball. San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan, very much into data. Yesterday on Earl Thomas, he said, not interested. No pause, no hesitation, no filter. No, we're not interested. Jerry Jones denied they were not interested because Jerry wanted to make it known that it was his call, and these reports out there, Jerry, keep the story alive. Jerry created distraction in a year with a new coach and no preseason when distractions could be mushroomed into much bigger issues. Jerry is not quite into the data thing, and it's very funny. Maybe it's a Dallas thing. I read a story this morning. They call them $30,000 millionaires. Dallas is a city that kind of flaunts what it owns and flaunts. That's kind of the reputation. It was a very interesting story. It's called Home Sweet Home of the $30,000 millionaire. And the mayor of Dallas was acknowledging, he said, we're both rich and we're poor. We flaunt what we have. That's fine. But what's funny is sports is getting smarter, and it's more data, and it's less vanity, and it's more analytics, and it's less ego, and it's more about what the numbers say, not what your owner thinks. And I watched this story with Earl Thomas, and San Francisco just squelched it. San Francisco's really good, Super Bowl bubble. Earl Thomas came out. They could probably use a safety. Didn't give it just get it out. No. Dallas, let's talk about it. And I really do think, this is why I've kind of sold my stock on the Dallas Cowboys, is that the first round of the draft, Dallas did not need a wide receiver. What did they do? Had multiple needs on their team. Let's get a flashy wide receiver. It's about brand. It's about excitement. It's not about data. Didn't tell you that was the best decision to make. They already had Michael Gallup. They had Randall Cobb. They had, at the time, they have Amari Cooper. They got a great O-line. They got offense wasn't their issue. They can't stop anybody. And their secondary lost multiple players. And their defensive line has one really highly paid player that kind of gets sacks, but not really. And they cross their fingers on Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith's health. But increasingly, when I watch, and this is funny about this, and I've seen this for a long time in sports, we always fear the big markets and the big brands because we think as sports fans, it's unfair. New York's got all the advantages. The advantage to being the Colts and the Green Bay Packers and the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Kansas City Chiefs and the New Orleans Saints and the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens and not being in these rich markets and these massive cities, the advantage to it is every employee knows you've got to save your pennies, you got to work a little harder. Look in sports right now in America. The New York Giants, the New York Jets, the New York Knicks, the New York Mets, a mess. Shouldn't they? Chicago's got a couple things going on, but, Bears, we keep waiting. Bulls, Washington, seventh biggest city in the country. The Washington football team's a mess. I mean, the Wizards are a mess. Dallas, the Lakers, and the Yankees are the three biggest brands in American sports. Dallas and the Lakers, late to analytics, more about ego and vanity. Where are the titles? Where are they? In fact, the last great title Dallas had was Mark Cuban, an analytic guy and not flashy and showy, a billionaire that wears T-shirts and cheap tennis shoes to games. Mark Cuban is the opposite of Jerry. He's like T-shirts, lets his players be stars, low-key, very much into analytics, all into analytics. That's the last title in Dallas. And I think what's happening in spite, and by the way, the Yankees, for years and years, a lot of vanity, playing a hunch, overspending, and then they watch the rival Red Sox start picking up titles without their budget, didn't have close to the Yankee budget, and they were doing analytics. And then the Yankees in 2018 said, okay, enough of this, and poured their money back into it. That's why When you can get the combination of big market and analytics like the Dodgers, you have 7 division titles in a row. Now, the Dodgers haven't won a World Series, but they have passed on so many big contracts until Mookie Betts. They passed on a lot. So when you can get the big glamorous market, the Boston Red Sox, a big market, and they're into analytics. Chicago Cubs into analytics. Boston Patriots into analytics. San Francisco is the 4th biggest, market in the country. San Francisco Bay Area, very much into analytics. That's when it's great. When the big market that's got the advantages of free agents and money and power and prestige, they go into it. But it's amazing how often the big flashy brands are late to it. The Lakers were late to it. Dallas is late to it. Dallas is still playing too many vanity games and ego games.